First of all, guys, there's a new series over on Anime Symbol, all about Naruto awakening, a Kryptonian bloodline. So go ahead, check it out and enjoy, guys. So welcome back, and I'm back with part 2 of What If Naruto Wasn't a Naive Idiot, guys. Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in social media platform. And also, guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new series over in the other channels if you're new. Yes, that's correct. I indeed have 3 more channels, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. I'll be leaving a link for all of the channels in the description, so go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. So without further ado or wasting more time, how about we begin this now, guys? To do a bit of a recap from the last part that we left off, we started in a world where Naruto was able to recognize that things aren't exactly as they seem. He used that to build many things, including his understanding, including his knowledge. Learning a bit from everything around him, from the academy, from the books, Naruto was able to find out that he had the beast sealed somewhere within him, due to Aruka stating that almost anything could be sealed away. Supplying chakra testing himself, Naruto found the seal on his stomach, learning that is a reason why the people hated him. However, Naruto wasn't naive enough to simply skip over that and forgive anything. Things have been difficult for him. They treated him like he was a plague, like he was invisible, like he was nothing, like he was worth less than nothing. Why should he put that aside and believe in the will of fire when they treated him like he wasn't worth it? He wasn't given an answer to put that aside. Naruto spent the next following years learning many things. One of those things included with the help of Might Guy. Guy had observed Naruto watching him, watching his movements. Remembering back to when he was younger, Guy decided to leave behind a book where he had wrote a lot of notes in as well. It was a bit more advanced than the academy. It would be gravely beneficial for Naruto, as Guy had seen him trying to train but having a difficult time doing so. So Guy decided to help him out. As the years went by, Naruto was struggling with controlling his chakra, and he failed the exam due to being unable to produce such a small amount for the clone jutsu. However, Mizuki came to him with an offer. Naruto wasn't naive enough to believe that what he was saying was truthful. However, he still went along with it, only to further his own goals. He tricked the Hokage by using the sensei jutsu and stole the scroll and ran away. Within the forest, Naruto opened the scroll to see so many. As he used them to his advantage, he proceeded to write some of them down for later use. With the time that he had, he focused on 2. The Shadow Clone Jutsu that was there that would be really beneficial. He then used the knowledge capacity to work on the Wind Wall Jutsu, a powerful defensive jutsu. Aruka was the first to find him as Mizuki tried to use his words to cower Naruto down, telling him that he had the 9 tails sealed inside of him, but Naruto already knew that, which led to a battle, which led Naruto to see that Aruka was perhaps different than the others. Stepping out to save the man, Naruto went straight at Mizuki, using the clone to trick him, then pulling something off. He used Mizuki's own Fuma Shuriken and created a wind wall, causing the Shuriken to spiral around and stab and end the life of Mizuki. The first time he had took a life, and it was affecting him. Yes, it was affecting him gravely, despite the fact that the man wanted to kill him. Brought back to the office, Hiruzen tried to put away Naruto's doubts, but Naruto had enough, he knew. He revealed to the man that he knew. Hiruzen decided to be straight with him and let him know, but Naruto could not forgive them. Knowing about his father, knowing about the Nine Tails, and the people, the treatment, Naruto wasn't naive enough to simply let everything go. He just couldn't find it in himself to forgive them. He didn't know if he could. The will of fire is something that they were teaching the academy, something that they should all have. So why? Why couldn't they put their trust in his father, a man that risked his life? Why couldn't they put their trust in a man that saved them all to do the right thing to keep them safe by making sure the Nine Tails would never escape? So why should he bow down to their whims now? He wouldn't. Hiruzen was a bit afraid of the implications that this meant for the coming future, as Naruto was not taking things lightly. When the day finally came, Naruto attended the academy like usual, as he was placed on Team 7, not being social enough to make that much friends or even be a part of any social cliques. When his name was called, few were even aware of who he was, due to him wearing nothing but baggy clothing because of his training and buying uniform that now suits him. You could see that his training has been paying off, physical wise. After all, Might Guy was very physical as well, and this book had originated from him. Team 7 was the only one left as Sakura decided to introduce herself to Naruto, but what followed was something that shocked even Sasuke that was there. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the play, check it out for yourself, and also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs on the other channels. I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So yeah, without further ado or wasting any more time, let's begin this now guys. We begin this new episode within the office of Hiruzen Sarutobi, stamping through a few paperwork as he was gazing down, but his mind was on something else. His last conversation with Naruto did not end on a pleasant note. No, it did not. Naruto refused to be so one-sided. He refused to forgive and forget. And Hiruzen did not like the meaning behind those words. He had seen people move to a different side for less. He had seen people betray everything that they stood for less. And this was someone that has been struggling from the beginning, trying to understand, and now, finally, bombarded with all that truth, all that information. Hiruzen had no idea just how much would it change him. He had placed one of his people to observe and watch Naruto. Naruto's behavior had changed towards him. That was definitely something. He wanted to make sure that everything was going standard. Even if he could not be there for the boy as someone to properly guide him, he had to make sure that the people and the village was safe, and that Naruto was safe as well. He had to step up as the leader. It didn't matter how bad it made him seem. He just hoped there was a way that Naruto could forgive them all for the past misdeeds. Now that he was a ninja, things are going to change. The experience on the outside, everything will be different. Meanwhile, Sasuke Uchiha never expected the following actions. He was surprised, and there wasn't much that surprised him nowadays. He never expected the retaliation for no reason. She released a scream. She gripped her head and collapsed on the ground, covering her head with fear. However, there was no pain. Nothing. When Sakura opened her eyes, a kunai was in front of her face. Naruto had just lashed out, drew his weapon and attacked her. Instead of defending herself, instead of fighting back, she collapsed on the ground. afraid, cowering away from him. She looked terrified, believing that she was going to get hurt. She did not know him. She knew a lot of people in the class but him. She did not know him. They never truly talked before. She didn't know him one bit, so yes, she was afraid of him, just attacking her for no reason. However, when she saw his face, she was greeted with something else. A mix of disappointment, concern, and worry. Naruto seemed to be struggling with something else, and it wasn't about her. He placed his weapon away. He extended a hand. "I'm sorry," he said. He apologized. She looked at it fearful, but she took it, not knowing why as he pulled her back to her feet. Why did you do that?" "We're on the same team," she said, trying to understand why he did what he did. Acting like he wasn't paying attention, Sasuke was also curious as well. Naruto looked at her. His gaze made her a bit uncomfortable. "Are you aware what it means to be a ninja?" he asks. "What it means to go on being a kunoichi?" Sakura was confused. She knew the premise, but what was he getting at? "You're afraid," Naruto said. "You cower away from me. You hid away from my weapon. If I wanted to, I could have taken your life right there and then. Do you have any idea how common this will be on the battlefield? How common this will be once you leave this village?" he said, stepping closer to her. She started to freak out. His tone was dry. His eyes were directly focused on hers. "Why? Why did you pick this profession?" he said. "Why would you go into something so dangerous, choosing to put your life on the line constantly, knowing that you might die?" Sakura was getting nervous, afraid of his words. She never really thought about it like that before. Her goal or dream to become a shinobi wasn't that deep as most people. After all, her family were all civilians. So yes, she could not answer his question. She was mumbling. However, his gaze softened as he looked at her. "You don't need to answer me," he said. "Just think about my questions and think what they mean for you." With that, he walked away and proceeded to sit back down. Sakura went back to her seat, unsure what to properly think. As for Naruto, there was a lot of things since the reveal. He blatantly told the Hokage that he did not trust this village. He had no doubt in his mind that he was being watched at the moment. His actions served to bring two purposes to life. He wanted to see if they would reveal themselves, trying to stop him from losing his marbles, believing that he would blatantly kill the girl. However, they did not. Were they so confident in their speed that they could reach him before he ended her life, that they would wait until the final moments? Or was he that weak? Was he that slow that they believed that he posed no true threat to them if they desired to move in on him, because his speed was that insignificant? Another thing was to try to understand, why would she go down this path? She didn't try to fight back. She didn't try to attack him. She cowered away. If he was the enemy, she would have been dead. The more he thought about it, the more he realized just how messed up this world truly was. They were kids. They weren't fully grown adults that were specially trained. They were kids. Granted, he was sure that they would not be taking on high-rank missions in the beginning, but still, they were young. Unexpected and surprising things happen every single day. What was the end result of that? Them dying? For what? A village that could give two shits. Yes, they would have a funeral. Yes, they would be seen as heroes, but they would be forgotten alike. The other shinobis that passed away from this cycle of death and destruction. Why should they risk their life for a village? that blatantly put them in the face of attacks in the name of the will of fire to protect your home, putting their mind, their body, and their soul on the line. The more you think about it, the more crazy it sounds, the more stupid and moronic. So caught up in his thoughts, he barely noticed the time passing by. Sakura was having an internal dilemma, truly focusing on Naruto words. Usually Sakura could simply skip by things. But in this moment she wasn't even focusing on her beloved Sasuke. His words had really gotten to her. Was there truly no real purpose for her to become a shinobi? Did she just do it out of a whim? Her family was not ninjas. She could have gone to a civilian school, have a normal job, something else, but she chose this. She wasn't strong, yes she was smart, but her brain would not protect her when someone came at her like that. She shook her head, trying to go back into denial and focus back on her Sasuke-kun, because this was becoming too real for her. Despite knowing that it was indeed real, she decided to focus on something else, her beloved Sasuke. That is when the door opened up. Kakashi Hatake entered to see no one paying him attention. Sasuke too was lost in his thoughts. Naruto words triggered something much deeper in him, much deeper. It was about his brother. For some reason Naruto triggered the feeling that he would never succeed when he asked Sakura if this was truly what she wanted to do, if this was a path that she wanted to go down. Thus his mind had taken a deeper understanding. So Kakashi was not greeted by any of them. His first calling actually went unavailable, as none of them responded, until he cleared his throat, causing their attention to turn towards him, curious about the dynamics that was taking place here. He told them to meet him on the roof. With that he was gone. Team 7 filed out to the roof as they had a seat. Kakashi Hatake sat there on the railing. It was time they introduced themselves. Kakashi got what he would have expected from the other two members. However, the last one, Naruto, his gaze was fixated on the man so much, Kakashi felt like he had offended the boy somehow. And when it came to him telling his dreams or goals, he said he did not know. He did not elaborate or going into more details about anything else. Everything about him seemed so cagey, so limited. The copy ninja was curious. However, tomorrow was to see if they were worthy of passing on to become ninjas. Time skip. Mubuki Haruno turned towards her daughter, who posed a very interesting question. Why didn't you ever try to become a ninja? She turned towards her little girl. Despite how much she grows, she would always see her as such. Mubuki was thinking about the answer that she wanted to give. It was just never her path. However, even after her mother's explanation, Naruto's words still plague her. She tried her best to simply focus back on everything else, but for some reason she could not get over his words. As she wondered to herself, did she really want to do this? Was she only doing this because of Sasuke as well? Was that the major reason? She questioned her choices now because she was afraid. Afraid. He was her teammate and she clammed up. She got afraid. How would things be in the real world? She did not know. Her mother picked up on something as she questioned her daughter. However, Sakura was rather cagey with the information. As for Sasuke, busy doing what he did the best, training to get stronger, trying to overcome this doubt that was in his mind. However, he was not the only one training. We find Naruto hanging from his legs. His legs were tied to the tree branch. His body was down. He wasn't wearing a shirt. He was dripping, literally dripping from every single pore as he pulled himself up once again. His back ached, his stomach ached. He reached down and grabbed the kunai as he threw it. It sliced through the rope, causing him to collapse on his back. The kunai started to fall as he closed his eyes. Until it was inches away, he grabbed it. However, it did prick him on the nose, which started to bleed slightly. He dropped his hand to the side and took several deep breaths. Observing and watching him in the distance was an Envu member, target to watch him and make sure everything was alright, courtesy of Hiruzen Sarutobi. Time skip. Sakura arrived, only to follow by Sasuke not too long after, but Naruto was nowhere to be seen. The both of them were hungry, due to the fact that Kakashi told them not to eat any breakfast. So yes, they were hungry, and it was getting close to noon. They waited for around 2 hours and Naruto had yet to show up. Kakashi finally arrived. "You're late," Sakura said. "Oh, there was a black cat in my path, so I had to take the long way around." Both of them sweat dropped. "Well then, let us begin." "But sensei, Naruto is not here yet," said Sakura. Kakashi tilted his head looking at her confused. "But he's right there," he pointed. They snapped their gaze up to the tree that they were under. Sasuke was the most shocked. To think, the entire time, he was... No, that's impossible. How didn't he know? Naruto jumped down as he landed. "When did you get here?" Sakura said. "The entire time," said Naruto. Sasuke was more shocked to believe that he did not know. "Alright," said Kakashi, clapping his hands together as he went on to explain what they had to do. Dread immediately went through Sakura's mind. Naruto seemed to be capable of hiding himself enough for them not to notice. And Sasuke, well, Sasuke was Sasuke. So that leads only one path. Her. She would be going back to the academy. Kakashi told them to come at him with the intent to kill. As two people flashed away, as he gave the go-ahead, the copy ninja reached for a book. However, Naruto was still standing there. Kakashi gazed towards the individual. "Didn't you hear me?" he said. "I said begin." "I heard you," said Naruto, as he proceeded to remove, slowly taking off, the shirt that he was wearing. When he tossed said shirt down to the ground, it sounded like it was extremely heavy. Kakashi noticed with a keen eye that the pockets were modified on the inside of the jacket. It looked like a shirt, but the material was thick, and they were bulging inside. Something heavy was in them. Underneath, Naruto was wearing a sleeveless black shirt that hugged onto him rather tightly. He gazed towards the copy ninja. "Coming at me head on. Are you sure that's the right thing to do?" "No, I'm not," said Naruto. Kakashi was confused, but he wasn't given the time. Naruto ran straight at him. In the bushes, Sakura was rather shocked. Naruto's clothing was misleading, as this was much tighter than the shirt that he had in the class, so you could see the well-defined muscles for his age, which was rather surprising. Shaking her head, she focused back on the task at hand. He was taking Kakashi on by himself. She did not see Sasuke anywhere, but she supposed that he would do the same. She questioned herself, what would she do? Meanwhile, the copy ninja was surprised as he deflected and dodged Naruto's strikes. However, this pattern was not the one that was taught in the academy. He knew this pattern. He remembered fighting this pattern back in his youth. Naruto's image switched with a young Might guy, attacking him the same way. But how? The copy ninja questioned. He jumped away as he noticed that something was different. Naruto had lured him here on purpose. The pattern of the ground, it was upturned. This was a setup. It all made sense now as 5 people flew from the bushes. It was all copies of him. So it is true, Kakashi said. As Naruto went through hand sign all of them. However, Kakashi was alarmed by what he saw. No, stop, he said, but it was too late. Wind style. Great wind breakthrough. Kakashi was afraid that Naruto might go overboard, using too much chakra, especially with his clones. That would drain him, and that was bad. Chakra exhaustion, chakra leading death was something that he saw a lot in the past. However, he also take into account that the boy would possess a lot of chakra due to his situation. But it was greater than he expected. But that was not the target here. The copy ninja was launched into the sky. He saw it in mid-air. The ground had been broken in 5 different spots. The wind force had been channeled, stopping it from going anywhere else but straight forward. So the moment it arrived in the center, it only had one place to go, up or down. And at the last moment, he saw the crack in the ground, allowing it to blast full force upwards. Most of the strength had been reduced due to the funneling, but it was enough to send Kakashi into mid-air. Seems like this boy had a sharper mind than he originally thought. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu. Looking down, he watches hundreds of Naruto's appear. Sakura eyes wide and Sasuke was shocked. Those were physical clones. But how could he possibly summon so much? The place was filled with nothing but Naruto. They started to grab one another and throw them right at the copy ninja. Kakashi was destroying them though in mid-air. He used 2 of them to step on their back, flipping off so that he could land safely, only to land in a crowd. They all jumped him all at once. He grabbed a leg and swung, knocking them all away, kicking and punching. The copy ninja slammed his hand down after a quick hand sign, shaking the ground as he sped through them, erasing a large quantity in just a couple of seconds. He came to a stop, surrounded by only 2 left. It seems your plan did not work as you thought, Kakashi said, still holding his book in his hand yet to open said book. The real one raised his hand and dispelled the other clone. I guess you're right, he said. He started to walk away. That's it? I thought you wanted the bells, Kakashi said, looking down towards the jingling bells. I do, Naruto said back as he made his way. Hating the fact that he was shown up, Sasuke decided to pull off his move. However, that ended with him being buried in the ground. His head was the only thing on the surface. Soon after, Sakura passed by and screamed and passed out. Naruto finally opened his eyes, having been resting as he was seated in a tree. He proceeded to climb down and made his way towards the 2. Arriving there, he stood. The Uchiha looked up towards him. I have an idea, said Naruto. Kakashi Hatake was reading his book. As he gazed towards the open forest area, waiting, a kunai came out right towards him. Immediately he stepped out of the way, only to see Sasuke running out, already going through hand sign, having earlier shown what he could do. A fireball was shot towards him, but this time, it wasn't alone. Followed by a great wind breakthrough. It became a great inferno racing towards the copy ninja. Kakashi had to increase his speed to get away, only to see several kunais coming at his face, leaving him trapped in the center. He was consumed by the attack. only to appear a distance away, having substituted out of the area. A smile was under his mask though. They only had 10 minutes left and yet, they were working together as one. The copy ninja watched as all three of them attacked. Naruto and Sasuke both on the offensive attack. Sakura was long range, launching weapons his way to keep him grounded. However, unfortunate for them, the time ran out, signaling the end of the exam. He made all of them group up. It seems like you all failed to get a bell, he said, looking towards them, when suddenly, Kakashi was caught off guard as Naruto pulled out two bells. He looked down to see the bells that were on his waist. Kakashi was confused. "What do you have there?" he said. "These are the original bells," Naruto said. "I stole them from you earlier while I was distracting you with my clones." "That's impossible. I would have noticed. These are the bells. I have no idea where you got those from, but that's not them." "You're wrong," said Naruto. "You were so focused on my clones that, for a moment you did not focus on the original, which took the bells off your waist and replaced them with enough time to get away. Why do you think I gave up on the attack so easily?" The other two were surprised. This was not a part of his plan. Now that was rather surprising. Naruto stepped forward to the man. "Here, inspect them yourself," Naruto said. He handed Kakashi the bells. "Look," he said, "I carved something on the ones that I placed on you." He took it from Kakashi, only for him to step back, as he handed one to Sakura and handed one to Sasuke. They too were confused. "I guess we pass." Kakashi was confused even more by Naruto's statement when he heard something. He heard the timer going off, snapping his gaze back to the foliage. No, it can't be. As Naruto looked at the man. "I did," said Naruto. Kakashi understood. He understood what Naruto did. Something that even tricked him. What's going on?" Sakura said. As Naruto proceeded to clarify what happened, those were not the bells that he had. During the test, he had a clone go and get some bells for him after finding out the target. He also had a clone bring back an alarm clock that was set 5 minutes before the original to go off. It gave him enough time to convince him to let him see the bells, which gave the bells right in the center of his palm. He said that by the end of it, each of them had to receive a bell for themselves. He didn't say that they had to keep it. As Naruto loopholes and words was a perfect execution of a plan to succeed, the copy ninja was thrown off. Naruto got the other two to work with him because Naruto learned a lot. During his time researching his father, he knew who Kakashi was. He knew nothing of the test, but he knew that he was on a 3-man team. His research led him to areas of, darker path for the copy ninja. They were both dead. Both of his teammates, they died. His journey led him towards the cemetery, where he came across the copy ninja. 5 hours. On his off day, the man sat. He stand, doing nothing, just there. After he was gone, Naruto put the names together and they match. Obito Uchiha and Ren Nohara, his teammates, had passed away. Naruto knew that they would be limiting their own strength to place only 2 of them on a team. And why would they want them to fight against each other? It was easy to see through the deception to see if they would trust one another. And after figuring that out, his other plan came into action. He had no idea what the man would use to test them, but, he had enough time. That is why he stopped. That is why he even fought in the beginning, to buy enough time for his clone to get away, to make sure that everything was going as planned. That is why he created so much clones, so the copy ninja would have no way of telling if he had done something. Kakashi was shocked. Truly so. Never before has someone done something like this. Time skip. And that was a story that was given to Hiruzen Sarutobi from the copy ninja. Hiruzen was rather surprised. It seems like Naruto was hiding more than one thing. Perhaps Naruto stopped trusting him a long time ago, not truly revealing how smart he was. You had two kinds of smart. You had book smart and you had street smart. The ability to adapt in the situation at hand. And Naruto proving that greatly today. Not to mention pulling off the great win breakthrough with 5 of his clones. Adding that to what he accomplished today was something that could get him to the rank of Chunin already. Had he underestimated Naruto that much? Or was Naruto simply that good at concealing what he was capable of? Hiruzen didn't know why, but this did not bring him happiness. Instead, it bring him dread, because he feared the unknown. And Naruto not trusting him anymore, given their last interaction, showing that the child was not easy to forgive. So yes, that was something that he had to worry about. Kakashi wasn't aware, but it was about time that he informed him of what Naruto knew. Time skip. Days turned into weeks, as Team 7 had become officially Team 7. Kakashi found himself relaxing, as the teams were participating in another D-rank mission. The copy ninja was trying to find a way for them to get along. Despite being on the same team, they don't act like they were on the same team. They did not speak unless it was necessary. That was when it came to Naruto and Sasuke. Sakura tried, but neither boy seemed to show any glimpse that they wanted to build a rapport, that they wanted to be good team members, which was going to be a huge future problem if not dealt with correctly. So the copy ninja had to do something about that. And after a few days of nothing changing, he believed that it was time. So when they made their way towards the mission room, Iruka was there. So was the Hokage as well. Not having that much paperwork today, he was here in the mission room. Once again here for a D rank, however, Kakashi interjected. I believe that we can do something higher than that this time. Iruka immediately shot up. What? They're not ready for anything higher than a D rank. He spoke to Kakashi. What are you thinking? With all due respect, they're my team, and I know what they're ready for, the copy ninja said, subduing Iruka in his statement. Hiruzen gazed towards Kakashi before looking down towards the kids. Sasuke seemed to be happy. You could see that by the little smirk, almost non-existent. Sakura seemed unsure. Naruto, on the other hand, Hiruzen was having a hard time reading how he felt, which was odd. Why couldn't he read how he felt? His face looked not blank, but this strange expression that he could not quite define. In order to gain some insight, he turned towards Iruka. Kakashi is right, he's their sensei, and if he believed they're ready, I think that he would never put them in any danger. So yes, if it's a higher one they wish, let us give them a C rank. I'm curious though, do you think that you're up for the challenge? He was speaking to the kids. His gaze landed on Sakura. Well, if Sensei think that we're ready, I'm sure that we are, she said. Her voice was unsure, unsteady. He looked towards Sasuke. We've been doing nothing but a bunch of chores for the past month, blatantly insulting the D ranks. They've been nothing but a waste of my time. It's about time that I was given a better mission that would better suit my status, he said. Iruka wanted to reprimand him for speaking to the Hokage that way. But Hiruzen moved on to Naruto. You want to know what I think? Well, with all due respect, I think that this is a stupid idea. Now that caught them off guard. You want to know why I think that? For the past month and a half, ask him exactly what, as he taught us. Teamwork, a few codes. What else has he taught us? If he's really confident in his own strength, I have no problem with that, because if we face an enemy too dangerous, someone is going to die. If he's not fast enough to defend all of us against this enemy, that will definitely overpower us, because he's taught us shit. Absolutely nothing useful since we became Team 7. Naruto's words startled them. Kakashi did not pick up that from him. He noticed Naruto gaze on him most times, but he believed that was because Naruto knew about the relationship that he shared with his father, and he was questioning why he hadn't said anything. So if you truly want my opinion, I believe that someone is going to die. If the mission takes a toll that we're not ready for. Looking back on things, Kakashi really hadn't taught them anything. Aside from teamwork and a certain code for team formation, there wasn't anything else. So that was really bad. As most teams by now had learned, the tree walking exercise. Hiruzen was surprised that they hadn't reached anywhere just yet. Excuses that Kakashi came with. Hiruzen was rather upset about this. This team was higher risk than most due to the potential that was on it. Iruka was gazing towards Naruto, trying to take into effect how much killing someone had truly changed a boy. He believed that was the trigger to his new personality. As Naruto has always been a quiet child, but now this seemed a bit excessive. Naruto was done talking, seeming to have nothing else to put. However, they were granted a C rank. A C rank that would perhaps help them. Time skip. Do you have a problem with me as your sensei? Kakashi Hatake asks, having followed Naruto as they went to get back. Naruto stood in front of his door. The man was seated on the railing. Things have not been chippy between them since Naruto joined Team 7. Not to say that he's been blatantly disrespectful, but you could see it within his attitude. Kakashi figured that it was about time that they clear the air. Naruto turned to face the man. That same look on his face, like he was bored and annoyed at the same time. Yes, I do, said Naruto. He blatantly spoke without hiding anything. In fact, I kinda hate you, he said. Kakashi was taken aback by that. There are multiple reasons. For one, you knew who my father was. So then you knew. You were there with him. You know everything more than most people. Yet not even once did I ever saw you, even to offer a bit of help. I didn't need anything that much. In fact, I was quite okay, but help. Even another Jonin saw the lack of guidance that I had. Dropping that book to help me learn the way of fighting. You, on the other hand, the great copy ninja, Kakashi Hatake. Did you even check up on me once? Knowing that, how my life would have gone, seeing everything that has played out, how much the villagers despise me due to what I am, them believing that one day I will suddenly snap and be the monster that they always believe I was. You know, a part of me has forgotten that a long time ago. Because why should I even blame you? You had your own life. It's not like you and my father was even related. You should not give a damn. So why? Why the hell should you even have checked up on me? I suppose I can't fault you for that. Mankind has never proven itself to be a very empathy thing between people that they don't really give a damn about. After all, they have their own life to worry about. I mean, I'm sure that there are many other things going on in your life. After all, a normal person would not spend 2 to 5 hours at a gravesite for that long. There must have been some really messed up thing in the past. However, you're the one that is supposed to be guiding us. You're the one that is supposed to be our sensei. But you've taught us nothing. All you do is sit back, giving us these annoying, ridiculous D-rank missions again and again and again. And now you want to bring us out on the field. What exactly are you gonna do if you are out of commission and we have to defend you and ourselves? You told us on that day that those who abandon a comrade are less than scum. And yet, you've given us nothing to protect ourselves. So yes, I have a problem with you. You're teaching, because I don't believe that you're fit to be a Jonin sensei. A standard, a solo ninja that fight for his village, yes. But to guide people, to properly train someone, to be a teacher, I don't think so. So that's my problem with you, said Naruto. Now if you don't mind, I have to get myself ready. Naruto left Kakashi stunned. Yes, he left him rather stunned by his words. The copy ninja had never expected that. He knew that Naruto knew, but the rest of it, Kakashi he wasn't there for Naruto. He more than anyone else should know what it feels like. However, unlike Naruto, he was not hated. In fact, people pitied him. And even then, he would like to have people around. He remembered when he was cooking the fish, and Ren and Obito stopped by, cooking for them, feeding them, having them be there. It was better than being alone constantly. Minato Sensei had tried to be there for him, and when he was dealing with his trauma, he knew why he placed him to watch over Kushina, to believe that seeing new life being brought into the world will help him, but it did not. It didn't change. Perhaps he was just too messed up to be there for anyone. His life has been miserable as well. And now, in doing so, he had shattered any chance of there being a rapport between him and his sensei's son. From what he got from the Hokage, Naruto wasn't someone that was easy to forgive and to forget. He was straightforward, he was smart. Someone that believed in his own conviction without having anyone doubt them. Time skip. Despite what Naruto said, he was never disrespectful. As the mission proceeded, he listened to orders. He did not hesitate to do as he was told. Kakashi's mind was weighing on what Naruto had said, believing that he should indeed help them more than he was currently helping them. So far, he hasn't even taught them anything that would be truly beneficial to help them in a battle. He needs to make up for that. Things became dangerous when he noticed the trick up ahead. However, he needs to confirm if they were after him or if they were after his client. So he allowed the demon brothers to seemingly rip him apart. Of course, the copy ninja reappeared a distance away, watching them from the trees. When the two demon brothers came up and ripped Kakashi, Sakura screamed in fear. Sasuke spun around. They ran, going straight towards Naruto. Time seemed to slow down as Naruto watched them. That look in their eyes, the steel on their gauntlet, ready to slice him to pieces. Immediately a clone was formed by him. The clone grabbed the back of his shirt and launched him into the air, only for Sasuke to throw a kunai and shuriken, pinning the chain. The clone jumped head first, head-butting Miyaizu in the stomach. Gozu was able to free himself now that the chain was no longer linking them. He swinged after Sasuke, but Sasuke jumped over. However, Gozu was a Chunin level ninja as he reached for the Uchiha, keeping his eyes off the real prize. Naruto dropped from the sky with such a thundering blow. Gozu's head snapped down with such phenomenal force as it slammed into the ground. Naruto grabbed Sasuke's hand and twirled him and threw him right towards Miyaizu. Sasuke stepped on the clone's back and delivered a brutal kick that sent him into a tree. Naruto's gaze was focused down towards Gozu on the ground. He pulled out his kunai as he looked down towards the unconscious man. He could feel the bottom of his leg throbbing. He had kicked him with a great amount of force. His head was indeed tough. However, why should he allow him to live? This person would not hesitate to cut him down if he got the opportunity. Why should he not snuff his life out right here and now to ensure that would never be a possibility? But then again, why would he come after them in the first place? Wasn't it obvious that someone was controlling him? Someone was using him for their own means. However, a man that would slash down kids without hesitation. What was their purpose in a world like this? What was all of their purpose? Here he was criticizing him, and yet he was thinking about killing him. Naruto stored his kunai away, dropping the body down to the ground, leaving the man unconscious. As Kakashi arrived, having witnessed all of that, things took a rather dark turn. It turns out that they were tricked. Naruto gazed towards the client as the man was begging them. However, Naruto felt no pity, no empathy for this man, as he was speaking about his grandson that would hate Konoha ninjas if anything happened to his grandfather. Naruto stepped towards the man, due to him kneeling down to beg them they were on the same height. Let me ask you something. Do you think your family life is worth more than ours? What? Tazuna said. I said, do you think your family life is worth more than ours? You sit here, acting like you're the one in distress, when we're the one putting our life on the line for someone that lied. What if one of us had died a moment ago? Because of your error, because of your lie. How would you feel then, knowing that because of your poor judgment, one of us is dead? You did this for your people, but you never once consider who exactly would be fighting for you. Do you think that we're a bunch of no-name individuals that does not deserve to live, that deserve to be used like some goddamn tool because we're shinobis that put our life on the line and can die at any goddamn moment because that's our job? Do you think some of us here don't have family? He was mainly speaking about Sakura. Having people at their home to care for them, to want them to come back, but because of your lie, they would never see them again. Kakashi had to intervene, stopping Naruto by placing a hand on his shoulder. What the child said truly came back to slam down on Tazuna, truly looking at them, realizing that they were children. The regret started to set in. He put their life on the line with not even considering anything else. However, he did so believing that he was justified because it was for his family. But what about theirs? He didn't care. Because he did it. Because they needed help. It would have been better if it was adults. People that would understand and be able to cover the risk, but they were kids. Him and Naruto were going through the same thought process. But Naruto's was a bit different when it came to their status as shinobis, because they were indeed kids, and those men were trying to kill them. The more time passed, the more Sakura started to feel something strange for Naruto. He was their age, but he didn't see things how the way they saw things. He was so much more mature. He was different. As she wondered, were they the naive ones? Was he the one that was truly seeing what this true world was? She never got her answer or anything else regarding to her status, why she did what she did. And as she gazed towards him, it was strange. He seemed so angry a moment ago, but now he was so calm. Kakashi, after speaking to Tazuna, looked towards his team. He wanted to hear their opinion. Sasuke did not put much stake into what was said. He wanted to test himself, because he wanted to prove that when the time does come, he will defeat his greatest enemy. So he agreed. Sakura looked towards all of the members before she spoke. Tazuna's last sentence, him being sorry for lying. However, the way he spoke about his people and his family, she felt bad. For the first time, and she did not even realize, she put her own opinion forward. Not the way she wanted Sasuke to see her for agreeing with him. She thought about what she wanted to do. She wanted to help. She wanted to help them. And then the final member, given his outburst, there was no chance in hell that he would ever agree to go. I think we should help them. That threw everyone off, even Tazuna. However, Naruto did not elaborate on why. Kakashi, as he saw the members coming together as a group, despite how bad it took to get here, he believed that this was the best thing to help them. So despite the danger, he believed that he could handle the threat. And they continue on. Tazuna was still questioning. Why? Why did he agree when he was so harsh about it before? That did not make any sense. Sakura, her curiosity got the better of her. She made her way towards Naruto before they got on the boat. I thought you would have turned the option down, given how angry you were. Why do you want to go? She said. He turned towards her. I'm a complicated person, he said. Yes, I was angry. Perhaps I still am. But I do have emotion just like you. You feel sorry for him, don't you? Finally, I saw what I wanted to see. What do you mean? At first, he was never thinking about anything else but himself. But it seems that my words got through to him. So, you were testing him to see if he would care about us partaking in the mission. Yes, and in the end, he believed that there was no hope. He too realized that it might be a bit too dangerous. Sakura's eyes widened because, throughout his thought, Naruto casually removed her eyelash from her cheek and blew it away like it was nothing. It was strange, the way he did so casually while maintaining eye contact with her. As they found themselves getting on the boat, she was confused as she felt. Her heartbeat was racing. Why? She thought to herself. The copy ninja gazed down towards Naruto. He was a very complex person. Kakashi heard what Naruto said. He wanted to see if the man would actually care for them. Care if they died, or perhaps he did this without a sense of doubt for anything else and anyone. And it seems like Naruto got his answer. Kakashi wasn't sure what was ahead of them, or what would they truly face, but he was ready. And he would ensure that nothing happens to any of them. Well, not everyone can keep their promise, because not too long after this, Sakura screamed out as blood sprayed all over the place. Her eyes widened in fear. Sasuke standing there shocked as he watched the blood fall down towards the surface. He's dead. But guys, me ends up so right here. If you want to see next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification, stay posted. But I'm all for now. See you guys soon. Peace.